And Scott from.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Robidoux. I'm the manager of planning for the Tucson Airport Authority.
Okay, thank you. And Tara?
Hi, I'm Tara Salomon, demographer with the Arizona Office of Economic Opportunity.
Thank you for joining. And Martin?
Hi, sorry, I'm having a little bit of Zoom issue. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's
Great.
loud and clear.
And I can see you guys, but and I can hear you, so that's great. Hi, sorry, I'm Ann Martin. I'm with STAR at Pima Community College.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. And PAC teams, Caroline.
Yeah, it's Caroline from PAC, and I'm mainly doing the preparation stuff and also provide the data for the data science team.
Thank you. And Eric?
Hi, good morning. Eric Kramer, Senior Land Use Data Scientist from PAG.
And Hannah?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Urban Planning Coordinator at PAG.
And James?
Hello, James Tokishi, Transportation Data Science Coordinator here at PAG.
Yeah, I think let me check. And Xiao?
Xiao Li, the Senior Transportation Data Scientist here from PAG.
And Jeanette?
Good morning. This is Jeanette DeRen, Transportation Planning Director at PAG.
Thank you. And Yumi?
Good morning. Transportation Data Science Coordinator, Pat.
Oh, thank you. Is there anyone I'm missing? And I think there's one more joining. Oh, hi, Irma. You joined just. Irma Yepes Perez. Would you introduce yourself if you could?
Good morning. This is Irma. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And here in the PAC and the administrative teams for this meeting, and Bree and Crystal.
Good morning.
And Jesse and Dawn. Yeah, thank you so much for your time and here together. Okay, then just the next agenda item. In-kind form and regional planning efforts are enhanced by recording time donated by attendees, volunteers, and the participants. And the PAC collects data on the time dedicated to meetings and the activities to apply for use as matching funds for grants and the federal dollars. If you are paid with the federal dollars, please let us know now. Time spent in preparation for this meeting will be estimated by PAC staff who are knowledgeable of the agenda and the meeting materials. At the conclusion of this meeting, the session report will be automatically calculate your time spent in this meeting, time spent working on the PAC RTA initiatives, programs, and special project may also be eligible for consideration for matching funds. Next item, 2055 RML development update. And I have a presentation control. Let me just double check if it's working. Okay, it's working right now. So we have just the one and the agenda item main portion in the 2055 RML and the development and especially for modeling side. Here I'm together with and the whole the team lead and the of just the 2055 RML modeling, and Eric Kramer and the senior land use data scientist, and James Tokishi, transportation data science coordinator, and the Xiao Li, senior transportation data scientist, and myself, Hansino, and data science administrator. Here is the contents, and today we want to discuss about just a short introduction about the data source of our RMAP modeling, land use model update and the activity based model update, and just a timeline. Introduction in 2055 RMAT, modern data, and so typically just we use just two models mainly, and for this RMAP modeling side, and additionally in the air quality model, but two models in the land use model and the travel demand model. For travel demand model, we have our just a new and the model activity based model. So this is our just the first time using our just the activity based model. For demographic and employment projection, and the PopTech main role is reviewing just the county and the sub-county level population estimates and the projections, especially just that we developed together in the sub-county population projection with the agreement of AOEO, and this is required. But for just the employment and the PAC and the use our just own like just data collected and developed in-house, and plus just additionally we use in the EBRC and employment data forecast together. And for first about those in the population, the estimates and the projection, that's clear, and we went through, and that there is just our PopTech meetings, and then Business School Center, EBRC, employment projection. We have just now just a new and the projection numbers, which is a small, which is we saw and differences and based on just comparison 2023 and 2024 Q3 numbers. So we'd like to kind of discuss and new and the 2024 Q3 numbers, and which will be and discussed by and Eric Kramer, and also that's our just the new and our just control total for employment side. For employment, and PAC develops annual or biannual employment just estimate with in-house developed methodology using just the commercial and the administrative data or newsfeed data, and those developed methodologies published by and the journal and the TRR Transportation Research Record, mainly just by just Eric Kramer here, just the senior land use data scientist. For projection and based on our just annual or just a biannual just the employment just the estimates, we kept those in the database maintained well. And typically on top of that in the database, we rely on just a local expert, not here today, and about the Dr. Hammond, and his projection numbers, and typically published by in the Q3 and the third quarter, from just the Business Research Center. We use those in the projection numbers and together with and our just the base year estimates, and for 6 sectors in the industrial, retail, wholesale, the fire, finance, insurance, and the real estate, and service sector. Then the third, 6th would be in the public service sector. So land use model, then just the need additional just the adopted land use information as base data and the known project and the development plans. So we've been discussed and about those in the input data set and the jurisdictional partners. And again, just thank you so much for your feedback. Then just travel demand model input data, and as we have just new employment, just new activity-based model. We need a little just the different data sets, and but more likely split in 2 sets. One is a supply set, the other is a demand set. Supply sets, and typically like just our project list, and which was finally kind of just approved by so far just the TPC, and we still have some another just a step, but more likely and those in the approved in the project list will be used for our and the network and the roadway network update, and plus just additional and the transit project. That's our just the supply side and the improvement, and we'd like to evaluate and through this 2055 RMAP modeling. Then the demand side typically we call in the TAG data, but the activity-based model use image data we typically just develop our model in the Eastern Pima County area, which includes roughly around just 1,100 TAGs. But if we use MAGs and more likely 7,000 and the 7 times higher resolution data we use and for our activity-based model, including like a population, then the household and the housing unit information and the employment, and plus other and the additional university student information and so on. But discussed earlier in the last just the PopTech meeting, and we need to use these 2 models successfully. So meaning that, and after just having our just travel demand model and base year model run done, all those performance measures and the roadway side and the volumes and will be and fed into just the land use model for the next 5 to 10 year and the forecast the model. After having like a projection in the next 5 to 10 year and the job growth and the population growth and allocated for each just the area, like the parcel level. And then all those just informations will be just fed back to, again, travel demand model, developing just a new TAG data based on those assigned just the growth by just the land use model. So typically like just like a link together in the land use model and the travel demand model until just we reach to our just the final year 2055. Then just additional performance measures and they will be developed, and then air quality conformity exercise and will be and started based on those in the final 2055 and the model and the completed. So here is the overall introduction of just the data of our just the 2055 RMAP modeling. And Eric will cover land use model side and the width and the James Takeshi about just the new the update of our just the employment just the projection allocation. Eric?
Yeah, if I could have the control here. All right, so I'm going to talk about our update to the forecast for employment. This is every year, the 3rd quarter forecast comes out from the Eller Business Research Center. George Hammond's the director. And we use that to take our employment data, or database data, and basically, like as I like to say, hitch a ride on the growth forecast that the Eller Business Research Center prepares for until this time. This forecast goes to 2054. We extrapolate from that series to 2055 for our map data, or map control totals. And we also translate or aggregate into our 6 different sectors and adjust it to the Eastern Pima County region. So this year's 3rd quarter forecast showed a significant drop in the overall employment. And I had a little question. I asked George to give us some explanations about why that happened. And he wrote, here's just some thoughts about that. So there were revisions, and the 2024 3rd quarter forecast had a downward revision in population. So the natural increase of the population is lower. So there are fewer births and more deaths than in the 2023 forecast going to 2054. That means there are lower expectations for population growth, and that will have a negative impact on especially on our service employment for the region relative to the 2023 forecast. And that means because of the population is revised downward, our employment forecasts are also revised downward. And based on that, sort of revisions to the historical data. You saw recently the jobs number was revised downward nationally. So that's kind of emerging historical data. We have our 2023 employment growth was expected to be 1.9%, but it was actually 1.6%. And our 2024 growth expectations are now closer to 1.4% and having slower gains through 2026. So those near-term downturns in the forecast mean that our long-term, they get compounded in the long-term forecast. And that is really what accounts for some of the larger employment declines in our through 2055. So you can see on the left, the table is the 2023 to 2055 from the 2023 third quarter forecast. On the right is the 2024 forecast. We have a drop of employment of 25,500 jobs in the 2024 forecast. And now the average annual average employment growth rate is now 0.49% versus 0.63%. And we, in terms of our employment forecast, the biggest numerical drop is in the service job category. We see a drop in the growth rate, annual average growth rate from 0.84% to 0.66%. Total job growth drops 10.2%. And the share of service jobs drops from 59.6% to 58.2% of total employment in 2055. Retail, we see also a large drop in our growth rate from 0.27% to 0.04%. And total job growth drops 8.2%. Industrial and wholesale, on the other hand, have relative gains in 2024 third quarter forecast. So we see an industrial growth rate increasing from 0.28% to 0.32%. So that's a 1.7 gain in total job growth. Wholesale was the negative 0.29% growth, now is 0.31%. And overall 19.7% gain in total job growth. Again, wholesale is a really small amount overall, so that can have those sizable gains with even a small amount of change. And what we also do with the employment forecast in our land use model, we assume a non-negative growth, and we have to adjust our numbers to non-negative growth because of the land use model does not work with negative growth numbers. So the impact in 2023, we had not negative growth in the wholesale category. In 2024, we see negative growth in the retail sector initially, and then also in the public sector later on. So those are reflected in some changes there just to keep it from being a negative growth. All right, so, oops. So on the whole, the lower overall employment growth, 69,641 jobs as opposed to the 2023 forecast, 96,738. And our 2024 forecast shows our relative gain in the growth rate from 2023. So we have industrial up 0.02 percentage points and wholesale up 0.26 percentage points. And we see relative declines in the average annual growth rate from 2023. Retail is dropping negative 0.27 percentage points, service negative 0.33 percentage points, and fire is negative 0.24 percentage points, and public or government employment dropping 0.12 percentage points. So these have all been adjusted to non-negative growth. So that's all on the employment forecast changes. I'll take it away, James.
All right. See, do I get slide control, or do I just say when to? Oh, okay. There we go. All right. So following on from Eric's numbers, the next step that we need to take is allocating the employments across the region. We looked at a few different methodologies and eventually settled on this one for this year. Largely based on the existing jurisdictional employment population ratios. So here, using the 2023 as our base number, we have the population in that first line, employment in the second, from which we then calculate what those ratios are for each of those jurisdictions. So taking Marana, for example, 18,689 jobs divided by 58,506 population gives us a employment population ratio of 0.319. Repeat that across the rest of the regions, as well as, just for an information's sake, a total regional average in that last column. From that, and from the jurisdictional population forecasts for 2023 to 2055, in that first table there, we can see that, again, just using Marana as the example because it's first in line, 2023 has 58,506 population. 2055 is projected to have a population of 108,709 for a total growth of 50,203. Over on the top right table then, we have our regional employment forecasts by sector based on what Eric had shown. The numbers are a little bit different just because we're using 2023 as the base year for this calculation rather than 2024, simply because that's the last year that our model inputs are set at. So again, we have by sector employments, and then taking those sums, using the employment population ratios that were calculated on the previous slide, and again using Marana as the example simply because it's first in line. There's a 2055 population of 108,709. The employment population ratio of 0.319, which means that in 2055 we would project by that Marana would have 34,726 total employments. Subtracting those from what we have currently, that comes out to 64,288 required jobs distributed across the jurisdictions in order to maintain their employment population ratios. You can see that 64,000 is less than the 73, almost 74,000 that we're totally projected to have. So fortunately, those are compatible with each other. Additionally, previously we've asked all of the jurisdictions for their known projects. And so subtracting out the known projects from those required employments, we then, the process, well, first we subtract the known projects from those minimum required employments. Then we assign whatever's remaining by jurisdiction using the SAM model. And then anything that's left over is allocated regionally. So again, for example, using Marana as the example, because it's first in line, 16,037 required employments. We have 6,021 employments in known projects that were submitted to us, which means there are 10,016 employments remaining to be allocated using the SAM model within that jurisdiction. Summing all of those across, and doing that subtraction, 73,744 minus the 64,288 required leaves us with 9,456 that are then allocated regionally in that third step there. All right, that's it for me.
Okay, just in case, and I wonder if you have any questions in case just digesting the numbers and methodologies. Nope. Okay, yeah, then, yeah, thank you. And then we can just move forward, or just you can ask just at the end of the meeting, and that's also welcome as well. And Shao? Shao, I think just you have some like is the muffled and the mic and the sounds, and I wonder just the actually connection issue, or would you just double check? Oh, no, actually not. Mm, uh, Still kind of just a little bit muffled. Or shall, since just your mic, you can kind of just check and again, and or just if there's any and plugs and kind of just in and correctly. And if you still have the issue, maybe maybe I can continue if that works okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe yeah. Still and having some issue, technical issue. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I can just continue. And would you move forward?
Well,
Oh yeah.
well,
Now it's better. Yeah. What happened?
I don't know. I think it's the wrong microphone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then just
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric and James, for introducing the updates of the land use model with updated population and employment projections. Today, I would like to talk about the tests we did for our activity-based model to make it ready for the RMAP runs. After we updated our base year from 2018 to 2023 last time, we did a few tests with different iterations and the sampling rate to evaluate the balance of computational burden and the accuracy of the ABM. After checking the performance measures results, the difference between the model runs, such as the number of trips, mode share, and VMT are very tiny. So we are also doing the link level comparison to see if we need to increase the sampling rate or the number of iterations for the model run. And we also tested the models in different computers to check if they are if the results are very close. So for now, from the results we see the results are very close between each model round. And secondly, we are also developing an automation tool to run ABM automatically using the Jupyter Notebook. With this automation tool, ABM can be fully integrated with the Moose model by using the automation Python scripts. So we can run ABM and Moose model together and get the performance measures of Moose model together with the ABM. For the next step, we would like to run ABM integrated with our land use model for 2055 RMAP. After updating our land use model input and population and employment controls, projection controls, we would like to run integrated land use model with ABM with 5-year incremental tests. And we also would like to develop performance measures for ABM, including the ones we have developed for the chip-based model. And we also would like to develop additional other performance measures for ABM after we upgrade our chip-based model to ABM. And I think that's all for my part.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Chao. And just in case, do you have any questions about the activity-based model or just the new and the travel demand model? Would you go back and maybe Chao? Oh, I can do, yeah. Just in case. No? Yeah, then here is the timeline overall in the 2024 Q3, and we are now in, and we have just received and the draft version and the project list. So hoping to just update our just the supply side and activity-based model, just the inputs and the roadway network update, if there's any expansion or extension, or just the transit service actually improved, then we'd like to just include all those just changes during like just the 5-year and the periods. Then incorporating just additional input data and also just a new implement just the forecast. So we discussed here today and 2024 Q3 and growth developed by just EBRC. And so we'd like to just use that and our just a new control. And then those and the numbers will be and used for our just test and for 5 incremental just periods. So 2024 Q4 and we'll hope to just have just the next PopTech meeting and typically just the even month and fourth Wednesday and October 23 for our just next meeting. Then and we will just hopefully just to discuss some just the TAG outputs of land use model, travel demand model, and the output. So and that's the typical just the item and address the year. So typically annually just we have our just a new population estimates and the working together with and the AOEO. Here just Jim Chang and Dara is attended and as well just a member. Then we will just review together and newly just developed in the population estimate and hopefully, and also just if there are any questions regarding the population estimates and we will discuss. Hopefully just the next meeting or just the following meeting and in just December. Maybe if needed, we may just ask just additional meeting in between and the October and December meeting. But December meeting usually just earlier in the time frame because of those in the deadline for AOE population estimates and December 15. So that's actually just required for us to just review in advance. So that we will just discuss about that. So I think this is all we have now with today. If you have any questions, please let us know. Any questions in case? Okay, yeah, so or just this and the presentation slide will be posted at the PAC website, and you can find out through the meetings and the agendas and all those in the presentation slides presented today will be updated within a couple of days. So hopefully, and if you have any questions, please just let us know, and we can actually respond to you as quickly as possible. Thank you. And so if we don't have any questions, and I think this time is at 10:40, so we'd like to just adjourn the meeting. Yeah, thank you all, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.